everyone. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're speaking with former Secretary of Energy Rick Perry, who's also the former governor of Texas, and we're talking about the energy industry. Rick Perry will be the keynote speaker at the upcoming PowerGen and Distributech.
We got approached by folks who were proponents of wind energy. Now, you got to keep in mind, I grew up in very rural Texas. I grew up 16 miles from the closest place that had a post office. And my mom and dad were both tenant farmers. And the house I grew up in, some of my first memories are of a windmill, both a windmill to deliver water and a windmill to spin and create power that went into a battery, an old carbide plant.
Oh, wow. So
that we would have a couple of hours of electricity in the evenings as the sun went down. Wow. So wind energy was not foreign to me. As a matter of fact, it was it was a pretty familiar old way of delivering some natural resources to those of us that lived in rural Texas. It would be considered probably in the 60s and the 70s that Perry grew up poor. Well, I didn't necessarily grow up what I consider to be poor. I grew up like everybody else. But so wind energy was not a strange and odd or even a unique and modernistic thing. It was something that we'd used in the past very efficiently. And as those who were promoting wind energy had conversations with me, I was very comfortable with it. So I became a believer that you need to have a very diverse energy portfolio.
Right.
Because we had put so much of our reliance upon natural gas, and these coal plants were old and inefficient. And we're having the conversations about green energy, even, almost 20 years ago, that conversation is ongoing and an appropriate conversation. So I was very open to the legislature at least enough of the legislature that it passed. We decided to promote the wind energy sector. One of the ways, obviously, you had the federal government that was given some credits, but the way that we were able to subsidize, and this is government subsidization. I don't get confused about that, and I don't have a problem with that. The point is, you incentivize the activity that you want.
Yeah,
that's government's role, in my opinion. But what I'm going to say is, I think you get my drift here. Is government has a role, has a very important role. Yeah. And we did it right by and large in the state of Texas. Not saying we didn't bat 1,000, but by and large, whether it was creating an incentive to come into the state of Texas and build wind energy.
Yeah.
We did it by delivering the wind from where it blows out in West Texas to where the people live, and CREZ. That was our renewable energy zone.
Competitive renewable energy zones. Yep.
Correct. And the state built that. They built their windmills mostly in West Texas, and the wind energy exploded.